In Tolbat County, Georgia, beneath the harrow plantation, nobody mentioned the cellar. Not in the years when cotton dominated the red clay fields, not during the war, and certainly not after it. But when Union soldiers in March 1865 finally shattered the rotting floorboards of the main house, they uncovered something that caused even men hardened by battle to draw back. A concealed room no bigger than a stall for a horse. Hundreds of tiny marks scratched its walls. In the corner, nothing was attached to a rusted chain. The oddest part in the dried mud, 2 preserved sets of handprints. One from an adult, the other unbelievably tiny. According to local records, 3 weeks prior to Sherman's arrival, the Harrow family abandoned everything and fled. After that, they were never sighted again. For 60 years, what the soldiers found in that cellar stayed classified in military reports. When the documents were unsealed at last, 3 pages had been intentionally excised. Tonight, we assemble the events of those 9 months, leading up to the Hargroves' disappearance. A tale of desperation, survival, and a secret better left interred. Ensure you're subscribed to Liturgy of Fear and activate that notification bell before we proceed with the Harrow plantation story. We delve into American history's darkest recesses that others avoid. In a comment, tell us the city or state from which you're listening. Now, let's return to the true origin of this nightmare. With oppressive heat that caused the air to shimmer over the cotton fields like water above hot stones, the spring of 1864 came to Tolbert County. Across 300 acres of red clay in Georgia, the Harrow plantation extended. A modest venture compared to richer families in adjacent counties, yet large enough to need 32 enslaved individuals for its operation. At the end of a lengthy dirt road bordered by magnolia trees that ceased blooming long ago, stood the main house, a 2-story building with sagging front porch and peeling white paint. Some claimed the trees had surrendered, like all else in Georgia that spring. Detecting the nearing demise of a world founded on agony, Thomas Harrow managed his plantation with the icy precision of a man who regarded humans as livestock. Valuable if productive, expendable otherwise. At 43 years old, he had a face etched into constant lines of calculation and suspicion, along with thinning hair. Through ruthless drive and a readiness to undertake acts that distanced his neighbors, his father had risen from impoverished white farmer to slaveholder, constructing the plantation from scratch. Along with the estate, Thomas inherited that drive, though lacking his father's shrewdness. Like red clay following heavy rain, he sensed his world eroding beneath him as the war drained the South. Margaret, his wife, seldom emerged from her upstairs chamber, her condition worsening from what the local physician ambiguously called nervous exhaustion. In reality, Margaret had withdrawn from a reality she could no longer endure. Her days passed gazing from the window at the fields, her mind distant, her hands quivering. Servants murmured that grief from losing 3 infants had shattered something irreparable within her. Once weekly, Thomas stood uneasily in her doorway, inquiring if she required anything. She never replied. The overseer Virgil Cates, a thick-necked, 35-year-old unmarried man with hands perpetually fisted and small eyes too closely set, managed the routine cruelties with a zeal that occasionally unsettled even Thomas. Raised in the Carolina backwoods as the son of a farmer who drank himself to death after failing, Virgil learned young that ascending in life meant eagerly causing pain to those beneath you. He wore a leather strap on his belt, employing it freely, inventing justifications where none were present. With justification, the enslaved on the Harrow plantation dreaded him more than Thomas. Bess, an 11-year-old girl among the enslaved, was small for her years, with vigilant eyes that had mastered observing all while disclosing nothing, and quick hands. Her hair stayed short, covered by a worn cloth. Her skin resembled polished walnut. She navigated the world as a shadow, present yet overlooked, a method that had preserved her thus far. In the main house, she labored, scrubbing floors, drawing water from the well, emptying chamber pots, and handling countless other unseen chores that sustained the Harrove home. At age 6, her mother was sold to an Alabama plantation to clear a gambling debt. Bess had clutched her mother's skirts and screamed, only for Virgil to rip her free and confine her in the smokehouse for 2 days as a lesson in submission. Of her father, she recalled nothing. Ruth the cook claimed he'd been sold prior to Bess's birth, but Bess had grown wary of fully trusting anyone, as Ruth spoke much. Under the kitchen stairs, Bess slept in a cramped area, a crawl space scarcely tall enough for upright sitting, reached via a small door most mistook for storage. With a dirt floor and rough plank walls admitting winter drafts, it measured about 4 feet wide and 6 feet long. She possessed a thin blanket, a mildew-scented straw pallet, and a tiny wooden box holding her scant belongings: a smooth creek, found riverstone, a fragment of blue glass from a shattered bottle, and a piece of cloth from her mother's former dress. Though meager, it was hers. And in a realm where she owned not even herself, that signified something. In that overlooked house corner, her existence crossed with a secret would devour the following 9 months, reshaping her understanding of loyalty, survival, and the cost of righteousness in a world constructed on wrongdoing. Bess awoke to misplaced sounds on the night it started. Late April, and above her head through floorboard gaps, she heard Thomas Harrove's boots pacing the kitchen, speaking urgently and low to an unseen person. Unusual noises had taught Bess to rouse instantly. It was a survival tactic, akin to knowing when to vanish or speak. With her heart pounding, she pressed an ear to the space between 2 floorboards. "Are you sure no one witnessed you bringing him here?" Thomas queried, his tone laced with unfamiliar panic. Thomas Hargrove never panicked. He remained composed, calculating, assured. Virgil Cates responded, his voice coarse and subdued. "Discovered him fallen in the North Woods, at the boundary with the Dorson property. Bullet in his shoulder, fever ravaging him intensely. Without aid, he won't survive the night, perhaps not even with it. Then allow him to perish in the woods. Why on earth did you transport him to my home?" Thomas's voice elevated briefly, then lowered, mindful of rousing the household. A pause ensued. Bess heard a chair scrape across the floor, someone settling heavily. Virgil spoke softly. "Because he possesses information on Union movements. A Confederate scout, he's operated behind enemy lines for 3 months, claims intelligence that could alter everything: supply routes, troop positions, defensive vulnerabilities, Sherman's march plans. But recovery time is needed, and he must remain concealed. Union patrols scour these woods for him. They know he's injured, know he's nearby. Discovery means hanging as a spy." Bess heard Thomas's slow exhalation, a man pondering dire options. "How long?" "A few weeks, perhaps a month, until he's fit to journey. We'll conceal him in the cellar. No one must know. He regains strength, conveys his intelligence to Confederate command, and we've fulfilled our patriotic obligation. Thomas, hell, perhaps a reward awaits. Recognition, even gubernatorial commendation. The cellar lacks security. Slaves access it daily for supplies. Ruth dispatches that girl 3 or 4 times daily for cornmeal and preserves. Not the rear portion. Your father sealed the old root cellar behind the preserve shelf in 52. Unused for years. We unseal it, place him inside, reseal. I'll manage all. Medical supplies, water, food. Maintain the plantation routinely. No one will suspect." Another prolonged silence. Bess nearly heard Thomas's calculations of risks and gains. At last, his voice firms. "Virgil, if this fails, if we're exposed harboring a fugitive, Confederate or otherwise. The Union will raise this place and hang us. And if the Confederacy learns we withheld this information for weeks while tending a spy, treason charges will see us shot. It won't occur. I'll oversee everything. My word on it. Your word. Thomas's laugh was acrid. Your word and a Confederate dollar purchase nothing. Yet choices are scarce. Duty compels us if this man's data aids the cause. God aid us. Bess heard footsteps toward the cellar door, the anoiled hinges creaking, then quiet. In her crawl space, she lay, mind whirling, absorbing the overheard. Beneath her, a wounded Confederate soldier concealed in the cellar. A spy whose secrets might extend the war, prolonging chains for her kind. A man the Union would execute if found. A secret Thomas Hargrove risked all to safeguard. She ought to have feigned ignorance, stayed mute, returned to sleep, resuming her unseen life of scrubbing and emptying pots, awaiting war's resolution. Yet Bess knew early that for enslaved people, information was sole currency. Knowing undisclosed matters could distinguish survival from ruin. Even for a powerless child, knowledge equaled power. But another element stirred, indefinable. Curiosity regarding this concealed man. This spy hidden as contraband. His nature, his sights, his burdens, and why sense odd affinity with a logical foe. Morning came. She performed duties routinely emptying pots, scrubbing the hall with lye soap, cracking her hands, readying breakfast under Ruth's keen gaze. In her 50s, Ruth was a sizable woman with gray hair and an impassive face. She governed the kitchen with suspicious disposition and iron spoon, observing all, trusting none. 30 years on the Harrove plantation, she'd witnessed 3 Harrove generations, learning survival via lowered head and sealed lips. You're sluggish today, Ruth noted, stirring grits. Ew, no, numb, merely weary, Ruth scoffed. At 11, you ignore true wariness. At your age, I toiled fields dawn to dusk. Housework eases you. Bess remained silent. Disputing was futile. In Ruth's suffering ladder, fieldwork surpassed housework, denying Bess complaint rights. Never mind Bess's 16-hour days, raw hands from lye, dog-sized crawl space. Ruth suffered more. Thus, Bess's pain dismissed. Fetch 2 peach preserve jars from the cellar. Not blackberry. Don't dawdle. With candle, Bess descended narrow stairs. Damp, low-ceilinged, the cellar smelled of vinegar tang from pickled barrels, mildew earth. Morning light shafted weakly through a small high window, stirring dust motes. Shelves lined with vegetable jars, flour and cornmeal sacks, salt pork barrels, hanging smoked meat. Below offered cool respite from above's stifling heat. Eyes scanning, Bess proceeded along shelves. As Virgil mentioned, behind preserves at the rear, she located it. A mismatched wall sections, less rusted nails, newer boards sealing a former doorway. She'd heard from a forgotten relative about the ancient root cellar built with the house. Sealed post of slaves near, death hiding during punishment. Thomas's father then commanded permanent closure. Ear to wood, Bess held breath, listening. Initially, silence. Then faintly, labored breathing. Suffering evident in the wet lung rattle, occasional pain moans. Alive, but scarcely. Hurrying upstairs with 2 peach jars, Bess's thoughts raced. She revealed nothing to Ruth or others. Yet that night in her space, the walled man haunted her. Imagining him in utter dark, injured, reliant on Virgil for life. Wondering Virgil's response if deeming him burdensome. She'd witnessed Virgil's killings, a runaway beaten fatally as warning. Mercy absent in him, compassion nil. If liability, Virgil would abandon him remorselessly. 3 days elapsed. Bess observed Virgil odd, our house vanishings, carrying canteen, cloth bundle, possible medical box. Sustaining the hidden man. But Virgil's countenance darkened. Bess overheard his study argument with Thomas, while ostensibly polishing dining silver. Worsening. Virgil tensed. Infection spreads, wound putrid. Needs proper doctoring. I've tried, Insufficient. No. Thomas resolute. Doctor invites Union signal. County's physicians monitored. Seeking wounded Confederates. One here, Union at door next day. Then what? Let death claim him. If required. Thomas icy factual. We've done possible. Death means woodland burial, unknown presence. Bess caught Virgil's sharp breath. His data could preserve Confederate lives. Convenience justifies death. I safeguard family property, matters most. Confederacy loses Virgil, obvious to all. Except Davis, like plague Sherman torches Georgia. Union triumphs. Post-victory, I claim no spy harboring. Prove-Union loyalty, avert house burning, property seizure. Coward. Realist. Sense would make you one. Bess heard footsteps, Virgil's door slam exit. Hands trembling, she resumed polishing. Soldier doomed. Thomas decided, unchangeable. Except by her. Bess could act. That night she chose reshaping all ahead. Awaiting household silence, Ruth's steady snores, she emerged from space, took kitchen drawer match and candle stub, crept to cellar. Bare feet silent on stairs. Heart near bursting, hands quivered lighting candle. Shadows leaped on walls, space seeming menacing, vital. To sealed door at rear, she advanced, inspecting closely, boards nailed hastily, gaps present, bottom one loose from moisture, age. Setting candle, Bess pried with fingers. Minutes passed, nails splintering, skin breaking. Loose board yielded with loud creak and quiet. Beyond, sickness, stench, infection, blood, sweat, waste. Overpowering, gagging her. Who's there? Weak whisper, panicked, Virgil. Face near opening, Bess breathed shallow. Not Virgil. Won't harm. Brought water. Kitchen tin cup filled from pump. Cool, clean, passed carefully through gap. Agonizing drag across dirt floor. Trembling fingers took cup. Desperate gulps, spills on chin, floor. Breathing ragged post drink. Thank you. God bless. Confederate scout, Bess whispered. Overheard talk. Pause. You! House girl, nobody. Invisible. You shouldn't. Cough interrupted. Wet. Painful. Minute long. Post cough, breathing worse. Won't catch me. Careful. Hesitant, she asked burning query. Will you die? Long pause. Likely. Infection spreads like fire. Days, perhaps week. Resigned, factual. Accepted it. Seen death enough. Wish information reached commanders. Wish death meaningful. Bess pondered. Casual cruelties lifelong witnessed. Humans as discardable tools by Harrove, Cates. Mother sold Alabama. Likely dead, childbirth, disease, overwork. Union soldiers rumored to free her kind, yet distrust white uniform promises. Freedom, mere word, meaningless for 11-year-old, whimsically sellable, beatable, killable. Man behind wall dying slowly, dark. Harrove prizing own safety over life. Irrelevant his Confederate role. Secrets prolonging war, her bondage. He suffered humanly alone, she could aid. No medicine. Quiet. Some. Ruth taught fever reduction, wound cleaning, poultices, herbs. Could try helping. Least attempt. Why? Voice suspicious, confused. Confederate soldier. Union win, freeze your kind. Should desire my death. Confederacy defeat. Bess Wade. Fair query. Perhaps. Slow. Or new masters. Unknown future. All uncertain, but no trapped helplessness. Invisibility. People ignoring existence. Can't allow death if preventable. Unsure sense, but feeling. Darkness shift, fabric rustle, dirt scrape, name. Bess. Daniel Pritchard, Company B, 3rd Georgia Infantry. Less violent cough. Bess, if serious, understand. Caught here, severe punishment. Virgil merciless, especially slaves disobeying. Knowledge of me might kill secrecy. Thomas desperate men terrible. No. Why risk? Long thought, tired invisibility. Tired inaction amid suffering. Saving one perhaps meaningful. Means not property. Means person choosing mattering. Unsure. Must try. Long quiet. Thought fainted. Soft. Braver than most soldiers known. Certainly me. Bess undisturbed replaced board. Took candle. Crept up. Heart pounding fear. Purpose-like. First time something mattered. Her sole choice. Next night returned after. First water, then kitchen stolen food, tiny cornbread cloth, wrapped, dried meat strips, boiled egg, pecan handful. Ruth undetected. Learned take undetected amounts. New creaky boards, checked shelves, invisibility even visible. Brought clean flour, sack rags, Ruth's burned salve lard, crushed creek plantain. Candlelight through board gap, Bess best cleaned wound. Bullet through shoulder, front entry, back exit. Both infected badly, oozing, swollen, hot. Stench overpowering, no gag. Seen infections, plantation, no enslaved care. New actions. Salve packed, bandages changed, willow tea fever. Learned willow from Sarah, dead 2 years, old remedies Africa, Cherokee mixed. Sarah taught healing, killing plants, pain easing, sleep, bringing roots. Dangerous medicine knowledge, suspected poisoning, hangings. But Sarah trusted Bess, past knowledge. Slow, risky work. Nightly discovery risk. Expected harrow of stairs, Kate's hand, drag punished disobedience. Impossibly undetected. Invisibility years advantage, notice shield. Weeks, Daniel improved gradually. 5th night fever broke, weak shaking lucid. Infection receded, wounds healing closing. Voice stronger. Breathing easier. Darkness root cellar, board gap, talked. Daniel pre-war life, northern Georgia foothills farm, 40 rocky acres, barely feeding family, his. Carpenter saved money bought. Wife Catherine strong-willed, dark-haired, neighboring farm, married 16. Daughter Emma now 7, mother's hair, father's eyes. Enlistment day, believing home protection, life way, northern interference, freedom. Thought states' rights, one night quiet, sovereignty from aggression. Politicians, preachers all said, believed, noble fight worth death. But war prolongs, see truth, about chaining your kind. Rich protecting wealth, poor like me, mud dying. Can't reconcile with self-thought. Bess listened, little said. Whites needed a loud moral process, guilt witness, evil complicity realization. Not her absolved didn't. Appreciated honesty, late, born suffering not principle. Told own life less, mother memory fading, son exposed photo. Constant fear, endless work, sanity small rebellions. Sunset watch stolen, pocket riverstone hidden, read self-taught preserved labels, occasional newspaper. Read. Daniel surprised. How? Self-taught, illegal, unnoticed. Invisibility advantage. Beside someone unseen. Watch, listen, learn. Sounds letters make. Most words read long hard. Remarkable. Many grown men can't. Not. Survival. Can't take knowledge. Sell beat. Death work. Head yours, Sarah said. Medicine teacher. Knowledge power. Even powerless. Wise sounded. Was. Daughter south sold 6 months died. Gave up. Stopped eat talk faded. Morning found peaceful. Escaped. Daniel long quiet. Sorry. Everyone sorry. Sorry unchanged. Suppose not. June from May. Daniel recovery on sit up. Move small space. Bess brought blanket. Waste bucket. Tin plate spoon. Cramped. Dark. Miserable still. Better. Once described 8-foot square, dirt floor, moisture weeping stone walls, light only Bess visit gap, rats scurrying sound, darkness sit think wait, mad going, one night, feel it, silence, darkness time unknown duration, think dead sometimes, hell this, sins punished, not dead hell not, Georgia close not same, coat turned laugh, dark humor child, not child, since 6 mother sold, innocence children, never. Suppose not. New issue Virgil stopped. Bess noted no cellar footsteps nights, no odd hour slips. Daniel Grimm's. Came 3 days. Union close, dangerous here. Food once more, then alone. Strong enough break out. North Confederate lines. Flat voice. Not returned. Harrove ordered starve. Easier kill outright. Less blood. Chest cold fury Bess. Familiar comfort. Felt before mother sold. Virgil bucket. Drop unconscious beat, Harrove baby, sold carriage. Simmered fury waiting. Then more food bring, sustained. Bess, can't. Risk too much already. Catch, not punish, kill. No much, dead silent. Care not. Should, leaven, life ahead. War ends soon free. Don't waste me. Free. Bitter laugh. Magic think. War ends all different. Still black-white, run world. Still poor, nothing. Freedom unchanged, better slavery, perhaps. Different prison, unsure, but won't let die. Not after all. But time limited new. Ruth suspicious looks, missing food. Mornings tired always, Virgil intensity, skin crawl stare, suspecting unsolved. Caught staring twice, eyes narrowed, jaw chewing problem. Late June crisis. Bess kitchen dinner prep, peeling potatoes. Cutting morning, killed chicken, stirring dawn, soaked beans. Heat stifling, air thick, sweat back, soaking dress. Ruth table kneading biscuit dough, hands efficient, practiced. Through walls thin, Thomas Virgil study argue, voices angry sharp, gon' want. Thomas, tonight, recovered or not, care not walk can, woods take leave, dies, property no more, barely walk, Virgil protest, shoulder weak, death sentence, his better mind, Union 20 miles, Patterson yesterday heard, county through moving, searching every place. Find him, search house, all hang. Me you all, risk not, information got, care not. Confederacy loses, knows all, Richmond fall, Lee surrender, over. Post, Union I look say never harbored, loyalty prove, coord, survivor, difference, out tonight. Order, Bess hands froze, stirring pot, warn Daniel must, out before Virgil. But how, where, still weak recovering, not far travel, not fast. Woods Union patrols, caught day within, that night, no wait sleep house. Ruth corner retired, minutes snoring, Bess cellar slipped, heart racing. Bored pride, darkness urgent whisper. Daniel, tonight coming. Leave now. Pain breath intake sharp, move heard, can't. Strong not yet. Walk can not far fast. Shoulder weak, collapse mile within. Then help. Bess, no. Catch escape helping. Care not. Not let kill. Not after months keeping alive. Frantic other boards work pulling one by. Palm splinters, nails tore. Fingers blood ran, stopped not. Opening large enough crawled Daniel created finally. Emerged slow painful, candlelight first clear see Bess. Younger imagined, 25 perhaps, gaunt face, hollow eyes, wild confinement beard. Useless left arm side hung, shoulder her dressings bandaged, thin emaciated clothes frame hanging. Looked her expression wonder perhaps. Child just, soft, old enough right wrong no. No come, time little. Help stairs cellar, weight supporting best. Heavy heat, small she, slow. Kitchen reached, Bess back door reaching when porch front footsteps heard. Virgil orders carry. Split second, shove Daniel stairs beneath space. In get. Sound no. Move no. Breathe no. Bess. Now. Squeezed narrow, pain contort face shoulder injured bent. Door small shut just Virgil kitchen entered hall front. Stopped seeing her, eyes suspicion narrow. Up doing what? Sleep couldn't. Water get came. Voice steady kept, heart hammering here certain. Sink bucket water moved, cup dipped slow drank. Virgil long studied, face, hands, posture, deception signs seeking. Grunted finally, past moved cellar door toward. Bess froze stood, stairs descending footsteps listening. Curse surprise loose boards discovered. Root cellar around moving herd searching, boots dirt scrape. Up came, face fury dark. 2 strides kitchen crossed, arm grabbed, fingers bruised deep, pain gasp. He where? Who? Hand raised strike, Bess braced blow, hit before many. New take, head protect, limp bones no break. Before fall blow, doorway voice. Go let her. Daniel there stood swaying slight, good hand counter grabbed kitchen knife must. Collapse might any, face pale sweat slick, eyes hard. Bess released Virgil, Daniel face turned. Condition no fight me, boy. Perhaps not, noise enough wake house make. Then explained Thomas everyone why deserter Confederate cellar. Wife neighbors Union patrols area searching. Know all. Deserter no. Call that when tell hiding 2 months unit report instead. Tribunal military call before hang cowardice, duty dereliction. Daniel voice cold, hardest Bess heard. Go let disappear. See never again. Tell Harrove escaped broke own, believe will. Virgil jaw worked, hands clench unclench. Bess saw calculating options weigh, Least trouble choice figure. Step back finally. Dawn until got. After report Confederate authorities. Hunt dog like, catch hang. And you, Bess looked, eyes almost pity. Fool girl, life away through man dead weak.
Worth. Yes, quiet Bess. Choice my.
Worth makes. Word another without Virgil left, boots heavy floor wooden. Kitchen stood Bess Daniel, done just weight shroud like settling. Go need. Daniel now, mind changes before. North Union lines toward, chance only. Reach them, safe, free you. I something figure. Best this about thought. Behind leaving what, known home only, brutal. Ruth thought, survive clean cook taught. Plantation enslaved others abandoning. Ahead what death possibility, danger, uncertainty. Alternative also here stay, space return. Months to never pretend, wait Virgil Thomas much no decide. Silence permanent need. Right said. Go let's. Back door left. Allowed state weakened Daniels quickly moving. Humidity thick night. Air magnolia honeysuckle scent heavy, else something. Rain coming smelled. Crescent thin moon, see barely light enough. Tree line made, blood cold run Bess sound heard. Barking dogs. After us already coming. Daniel labored breathing. Virgil mind changed must, or Thomas choice no gave, or start lying. Hope give hunt interesting make. Deeper woods pushed, clothes tearing branches, step every trip threaten roots. Hard breathing Daniel. Moonlight pale face chest against pressed arm left. Pace keep couldn't long knew. Body weak still infection, months too dark confinement. Time need, food rest, but time no have. Behind louder dogs frenzied barking. Voices men shouting heard, trees through torches flicker see. Hunted animals like, closer hunters getting. Leave me, gasped Daniel route over stumbling, faster move without. Make might? No, said Bess. Together started, together finish, works how. On stumbled, mind Bess raced, save might anything something think. Then remembered Ruth once told, sent off throw dogs how. Old trick escape, tried succeeded sometimes people down past. Gambled desperate, all had, east half-mile creek about, gasp breath. Reach can if, downstream wade, scent hide water. Track can't dogs, direction changed, creek remembered where angling. There been before years, drought dry well water fetch scent. Fed, spring creek, clear cold, stone smooth running. Reach could, chance had. Closer dogs, frenzied barking. Underbrush crashing heard, men urging. Back glance risked, trees through light torch see. Yards 100 maybe. Creek reached just behind underbrush burst dog first. Water plunged Bess Daniel, cold shock gasping. Waist deep Bess, chest Daniel, remembered stronger current. Downstream wading began, footing keep fighting stones slippery, legs numbing cold water. Bank creek reached dog, confused stopped, sent forth back casting. Arrived more dogs men. Counted 4 torches Bess, men 4 least, more maybe. Far bank pressed themselves, tree willow overhanging shadow hidden, breath held. Trail lost. Voice one water across carrying. Damn, heads are have Virgil. Outspread, banks both check, far gone can't. Dead half soldier, child just girl. Find will. Bank creek along moved men searching, water across shadows dancing torches. Still perfectly stayed Bess Daniel. Water cold chins lapping, bank muddy against bodies pressed. Cheek Bess's landed mosquito. Bit, moved not, blinked even not. Shallow rapid breathing Daniels, shaking feel could. Exhaustion fear cold from. Tell couldn't. Hours felt what after, minutes only probably. Unmoved party search, wrong direction heading, upstream creek following down instead. Faded gradually men dog sounds. Anything here couldn't until completely faded sounds, all hoot distant, crickets chirp, creek gurgle but. Side far creek out climbed then, clothes heavy soaked, air night warm despite cold shaking bodies. Shelter find need. Chattering teeth Daniel. Hide somewhere until travel properly strong enough. Look think won't they? This about thought Bess. Area map mental through running. Hair from miles 3 barn tobacco old. Years abandoned born before I since. Fever died own family, cursed land wanted nobody. Anymore there goes nobody. Dark and fine can. So think, little when there been. Blackberries pick me took mother. Way remember. Night through walked, slowly moving, rest Daniel let frequently stopping. Sounds alive woods, leaves wind whisper, night birds call, underbrush animals small rustle. Led Bess, instinct memory navigating, landmarks following. Remembered she oak struck lightning, marker property been might stones pile, grew roses wild clearing. East lighten began sky time by, gold pink streaks horizon painting, barn reached. Vines creeping covered walls, missing roof half structure sagging. Hinges door crooked hung, glass empty windows. Shelter was but, woods thick fields overgrown surrounded hidden. Inside collapsed speak too exhausted. Tobacco old mildew rot smelled barn, dry relatively safe. Corner sacks burlap old found Bess, bed rough make used. Grown down lay Daniel, fatigue pain gray face. Pillow makeshift against pressed shoulder injured. Thank you, whispered, closing eyes already. Everything for. Wall against back her watch keeping, beside sat Bess. Thank yet not, safe not. Close even not safe, no alive. Morning woke this expected than more. Day through slept, watch keeping turns windows broken through. Hour every woke Bess, deeply sleep never conditioned body, danger alert always. Woke each, breathing still Daniel Shore checked alive. Pursuit sounds listened each, approaching horses, shouting men, barking dogs. Quiet remained woods, peaceful existed they forgotten world as if. Night fell when, food search out ventured Bess. Fruit heavy branches there, field edge along growing blackberries wild found. Garden bin must what from potatoes small few, onions wild, roots edible up dug. Clean cold water, stream from canteen filled. Much not, day another going keep enough. Routine there became. Weeks 3 barn abandoned stayed day hiding, night only moving. Food foraged Bess, enough not when farms nearby vegetables stole. Plantation men watching learned trap using rabbit snare even managed once. Returned slowly strength Daniels. Healed shoulder wound, strength full regain never arm left though. Badly damaged muscle, scarred severed nerves. Hiding hours long during talked. More life is told Daniel Bess, Emma daughter Catherine wife about. Plans about talked, Army Confederate desert, intend how, north way make. Georgia far somewhere over start. Guilt about talked, wrong knew when followed orders, killed men, war done things. Shot man once. Night one whisper barely voice. Soldier union. Old 18 then more not. Wounded, mother calling ditch lying. Prisoner taken could. Should. Time no said officer commanding, fast move need. Head bullet put, shot face still see. Mother calling here still. Life rest for. Nothing saying listened Bess. Say what? Monsters everyone turned war. Imagine never capable themselves things do forced people. That in unique not Daniel. Mad gone world survive trying man another just. Life own more him told she, sane kept rebellions small about, read self, taught about, pocket her and kept riverstone smooth about. Invisible make learned way about. Sold day and mother her about, skirts her clung screamed had Bess way until away tore Virgil. Again see ever think you? Daniel asked. No, dead probably, long last not Alabama plantations. Drop until work, replace then, works how, sorry, back bring not sorry. 1870 of August early. North continue enough strong felt finally. Star north following night traveled, towns roads avoiding. Rivers crossed, fields forests through past, alike scouts Union patrols Confederate from hid. Work dangerous slow, day each line's Union closer getting. Vegetables stolen foraged food survived, streams water, find could they where food left saw passing them people enslaved kindness occasional, cloth bread loaf, preserves jar, ham smoked. Alive kept gifts anonymous forward moving kept. Changed everything August midnight then. Resin needles sent thick air. Forest pine dense through moving were when ahead voices heard. Tones low speaking men, metal clink, night for unsettling camp sound. Side which tell couldn't Bess soldiers. Listened froze Daniel she. Hour and back do patrols. Voice one. Then by not. Deserted killed captured assume they've. Sides both from deserters rebs, with crawling woods these. Any more anyone trust can't. Dawn it out moving where says captain heading mon toward. Trouble into run don't if days 3 in there be should. Soldiers Union, lines Federal reached finally. Eyes his in fear mixed, hope saw she Bess it looked Daniel. It made they'd. Odds all against it made actually. But next what? Child enslaved deserter Confederate with Dewwood Soldiers Union. Trees outstepped, raised hands, startle not slow moving. Them toward spun Soldiers Union, raised rifles, later questions ask first shoot might thought moment Bess. Forward stepped officer then, shoulders on bars lieutenant's man young, moonlight studying them. You who? Demanded, pistol on hand. Pritchard Daniel, infantry Georgia 3rd. Deserting I'm. Bess this and. Life my saved she. Months to me with traveling been, lines your reach helping. Eyes officers Daniel from Bess to moved, face young her into etched exhaustion feet bare, dress torn and taking. Old how you girl. The Levin, sir. Expression officers shifted something. Pity or respect perhaps, surprise. Months too alone man this with traveling you've. Yes sir. Escape him helped I enslaved was I where plantation from. Night moving, hiding been weave. Die him let going were they and wounded was he. Happen that let just couldn't. Couldn't I? Moment long quiet officer, face her studying. Rifle lowered then, same do men as to gestured. Now safe you both. Us with come. Sleep place, clothes clean. Food get will, next comes what out figure then. Camp Union taken were. Woods clearing across spread campfires, wagons, tents collection sprawling. Place one in soldiers many so seen never had Bess. Them of thousands maybe, hundreds, Army Union blue uniforms wearing all. Food given were, food real, vegetables stolen roots foraged not, hot but bitter coffee and tack hard pork salt. Clothes clean given, sack like her off, hung still find could they uniform smallest though Bess for. Floor canvas damp out kept that, and blankets real with share to tent given. Plantation Harrove about questioned extensively Bess, valuables kept Harrove Thomas where buildings lay out, their people enslaved number, defenses its, location its. Could best as answered she, prison her been place betraying guilt strange felt though. Knew she irrational, anything than more her treated never loyalty any her shown never Harrove's. Known ever her home only still was, destroy to needed they information Soldiers Union, giving unsettling something. Movements troop Confederate, about question 2 Daniel, wounded when carrying been heed intelligence the in strategies and. Could he information what provided? War in part no wanted clear made he though. Him trust quite not didn't as if guard under kept him they noticed Bess Officers Union. Days 3 later, Plantation Harrove on moved Regiment Union. It see to there wasn't Bess, camp returning soldiers from afterward about it heard, but arrived they before fled had Harrove Thomas, wagon single carry could they valuables whatever and wife his taking. Again from herd never were, and Alabama toward west headed, they'd. Fight tried had Kate's Virgil. Rifle with house main in himself barricading surrender, refused when Soldiers Union by shot been. Him behind burned house while porch front on out bleeding died he. Freed been had people enslaved. Camps contraband into herded being meant freedom, that learned best though. Bad as often conditions where camps, starvation simple from, dysentery from, typhoid from, dozens by died people. Shelter food inadequate with disease, ridden overcrowded camps. Imagined anyone then complicated more outturned freedom. Known she'd others about. Ruth about asked Bess. Them to happened had what her tell could nobody but. Away sold been who'd members family find trying. Nothing from lives new build trying. South collapsing chaos into disappeared, scattered they'd. Family his for send eventually and work find to hoped. He where Pennsylvania toward north heading. September in camp left Daniel. Eyes his in tears with Bess goodbye said. Hand her into bird wooden carved small pressing. Soldiers' union, one from borrowed knife, with oak piece from whittling. Barn in weeks there during made he'd something. Life my saved you. Emotion thick voice. Forget never that. Never. Met ever bravest your people brave lot met I've end. Daughter another ever I if. Honor your in best name going I'm. Do will you what? Hands her an overturning bird wooden the asked Bess. Detail miniature in rendered feather every, beak tiny and wings delicate with carved beautifully was it. Was I than man better be to try. Suffering this all of good something make try. Children my all teach to try that sin was slavery. Equal are people all that? Wrong were we. Enough be it'll if no don't. Paused he, intently her looking. You about what? Do will you what? Camp the around looked Bess. War confusion endless the enslaves freed the soldiers the at. Yet no don't, out figure I'll. Do always I. Again Daniel saw never she. Pennsylvania to it made he'd that later years heard she. Family with reunited been he'd that. 1889 in death his until carpenter as life quiet lived he'd that. Short for Bess, Elizabeth named he'd. 1867 and born daughter another had he'd that heard she. True was it if no didn't she. Was it hope but she. Peace found he'd hoped. Man better be promises kept he'd hoped. Bess for Georgia through moved it as Army Union with stayed she, cook and laundress as working. Don't she'd what than harder no but hard was work the. Paid was she now least at. Survived to enough barely month a dollars fewer, hers was it but. Waste her around, tied kept she bag cloth small in coins the hiding, penny, every saved, she. Atlanta to weigh her maid, she 1865 and ended war the when Hannah named woman black free, a by run house, boarding a in work found where. Wing her under Bess took she fair, but stern 40s her in was Hannah. Money managed to how household run to how her teaching. Reconstruction world complicated navigate to how. Don't work her after light candle by studying right, and read properly to learn Bess. Accounts balancing books houses, boarding the keeping arithmetic learned. Killed herself getting without ground her stand. To how people white with deal to learned. Property as her saw still who. Saved she'd money the using house boarding on her open Bess age, the at 1870 in Hannah from loan A and 17. Hers was it but rooms, 6, just place small. A slavery aftermath in lives build trying families black freed newly to catered she. Work for look they while stay to place safe and meals hot rooms, clean them offering. Starvation edge on families to food providing. Pay couldn't who those to shelter offering situations, desperate in people helping for reputation. A had she gouged never prices fair charged she. Own her of children had never married never. Alone powerless be to like, was it what remembered. Who people helped, who as community her in known became she. Room her in shelf on her given had Daniel Bird wooden, carved the kept she 50 of age, the at 1903, in died she day the until. Children black for school, a as used be to house boarding her left she will her in persecution or violence, fleeing those to refuge. Offer always should it that stipulation a with. Highway a for way make to down torn was it when 1947 until stood building the. Location new a and continued school the but. Founder it's of story the remember people few though today. Operates still it. Building current the of wall the on plaque small others 1985 and installed that reads unknown name last Bess Elizabeth by founded 1870. Compassion without nothing means freedom that understood who woman a. Rebuilt never was plantation Harrove the Forez. Circumstances mysterious under down burned house Maine the 1866 in. Slaves former by arson was it said some. Lightning was it claimed others but sure knew nobody. Farmers small to out parceled, subdivided and sold. Eventually was land the century 20th the of suburbs, growing the into absorbed eventually. 1925 until time and dirt of layers under buried forgotten, and infilled was hidden had Daniel where cellar the cellar root sealed the discovered house, knew a for ground breaking crew construction a when. Them of hundreds walls the on scratches the found they. Confinement his of days counting Daniel, been have might that marks tiny. There was it why or to attach been had it, what explain could nobody though chain rusted the found they. Two else something found they. Wall falls a behind hidden child a for enough barely door, wooden small a, and invisible almost were they small, so letters in wood the into carved, were helped Bess words. 2. Newspapers, local the made discovery, the speculation, sparking earlier years, 60 that cellar in happened had, what about? Dead was truth the known have might who everyone then by. Alabama into disappeared had Hargrove Margaret and Thomas again from heard never. Grounds plantation, the on somewhere grave, unmarked and unburied was Kate's Virgil. History to lost stories their wens the to scattered, had there lived who'd people enslaved, the confirmed never, but about whispered legend local a became story the unsolved remained to destined seemed that mystery a slaves run away for place hiding a was it maybe prisoners kept harrows the where was it maybe crimes unspeakable or torture murder involving something darker something was it maybe. Case often is as truth the legends, any than complicated more and simpler both was. Report Military Union researching historian A across stumbled 1931 until together come to began puzzle the of pieces that 1864 August in Morrison James, Lieutenant by filed report A. Defenses plantation about intelligence valuable provided, who'd escape deserter Confederate a helped who'd girl enslaved young a mentioned report the age of years 11 approximately child Negro A, as her to referred just name her give didn't report, the information more down track to tried historian, the but cold went trail the war the afterlife her of records official no letters no photographs, no were there. People elderly few the of memories the and the words are cellar, the in words. Carved the end report one that just Atlanta in them told once who'd own her house boarding a remembered who there ended have might story the again forgotten if discovery final one for naught grandfather great her to belonged had that journal a found genealogy family her researching Pritchard Sarah woman a 1958 in soldier wounded a hiding about child was she when them told once who'd own her house boarding a remembered who Atlanta, in people, elderly few the of memories the months 9 those of moment every conversation, every memory, every preserved to trying been had Daniel, if as obsessive, almost detailed were entries, journal, the sense logical no made it, when even him saved to determination her intelligence, her courage her Besses about wrote he. Years 40 lived have I wrote, he entry and in death Besses after year a 1904 dated, though died she'd know didn't he. Children raised life built good man be to tried. Child that of courage the forgotten never have I but. D me let to reason every had, who instead chose save to and. Peace and happiness found, she that pray I deserved she freedom, the her gave war the that. Somehow somewhere, that mattered kindness her knows, she that pray I meet changed it, everything changed it that. Children his all to equality and justice, for fight to responsibility, a had they that evil was a slavery, that her saved who'd girl the of story the her telling about Elizabeth daughter. Second his naming about wrote he. Back take never could he that war, the in done he'd things the all about ditch, the in shot he'd man. The about still had he nightmares, the about wrote he. People out of humanity every bit crush, to determine seemed world, the when even times darkest the in even that him shone, had Bess how about wrote he not to reason every had, when each other helped to chose who dead them, wanted that world and survive to trying people to just Cruelty over compassion chose who everything cost it, when even help to. Newsletter Society Historical Small A in excerpts Journal the published Pritchard Sarah 1959 in Connection the Maid Atlanta in Someone Eventually and Newspapers Few a buy-up picked was it. Shadows History the from emerged Daniel and Bess of Story full the together came pieces the and 1903 in died who own her house boarding the two. Suggested evidence the what exactly was plantation. Harrow of the beneath cellar. That in happened what? Anyway did it, who and stranger, a for everything risk to reason no had who child, a by courage extraordinary of act and ending tale fairy, no intervention divine, no element supernatural, no. Thousands, hundreds, killed that war amidst, the in kindness single a of value, the measure we how. Enemy her been have should logic all by, who someone for life her risk, to child a drives what? For fought and believed he's everything question manna makes what? Answers easy no have that questions raises story the. Mean really does freedom what? Enough it is and. Answers definitive have don't we. Facts the have only we. School became that house, boarding the entries journal the words, carved the handprints the cellar the. Intersection that by changed forever were in 1864 in months, 9 for intersected that lives, 2 of evidence the have we. Progress of march relentless the end centers, shopping houses, suburban, by covered land the now gone is plantation Harrow. The stood once cellar, the where of outline the sea still foundation old the find, can look to where know you, if but. Ago years all there happened what imagine yourself, let you, if quiet vary your if. Darkness the in voices, 2 of whisper the hear almost can you. Die him let refused who child a and soldier wounded a generations through echo would that choice a making. Isn't it story this of horror real the evil supernatural or demons ghosts not but. Someone saved to life her risk to had child, that fact terrible simple the but. Courage extraordinary of act and became decency, human basic of act and that broken, so was world the that. Night at awake us keep should that nightmare the that's. Day of light the un, in other each to done, weave what of memory the but dark the in lurking, be might what of thought the not. Ago decades destroyed and down torn, now gone is door cellar the. Society, Historical County, Talbot the of Archives the in preserved 1925 in crew construction, the by taken photographs in remained into carved words the but, unbearable almost as cost the, when even write what's due to choice the and compassion courage of story a tell that words too. Enough that's maybe. For ask can we all that's maybe. Remembers somewhere someone that. D doesn't story the that. Later century then more matter continues 1864 in Georgia in Cellar A, in made choice Bess's that. For hope can us any all that's end the in because matter choices are that. Meaning have actions our that. Light into brought be someday will darkness the in, do we things the that. Smallest the sometimes are resistance of acts powerful, most the that, and other each inflict we ones the often are horrors terrifying most the. That us shows mystery this. Man dying at a water bringing child a. Away look says instinct every when help to decision a. Story this of think you what. Clay read Georgia that in buried still secrets are there or revealed was everything believe you do. Below comment your leave. This like stories more want and tale this enjoyed you. If bell notification the hit subscribe share who someone with mysteries historical dark loves. Next the in you see.